I'm going to show you the fastest, simplest, easiest way to make your first $1,000 online. I have tried dozens of different businesses over the past decade. Some made a little money, some made tons of money. Some completely burned me out. Some looked exciting at first, but then gave me less freedom than a real job or a 9 to 5. And after all that trial and error, I found one business model that finally gave me what I was actually looking for: time freedom, location freedom, and financial freedom. And the craziest part, my first digital product was a product I didn't even create, and I made over $50,000 in my first year as a total beginner. Okay? So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly why I chose digital products, the simple business model that I use now, and the step-by-step path I'd follow if I were starting from scratch today. Make sure you stay until the end because the last part is the difference between building another side hustle and building something that can actually bring in full-time income in part-time hours. If we haven't met yet, I'm Kimberly Latona. I have a master's in business. I've spent the last 15 years coaching entrepreneurs and building businesses. And over the past decade, I have tried a lot of different ways to make money. But once I became a mom of 3 young boys, I knew I needed a business model that was simpler, more flexible, more scalable, and realistic in part-time hours. And when I found digital products, everything changed. My first digital product was a master resale rights product, and I made over $50,000 in my first year selling a product I didn't even create. That's when I realized this business model was different. So here's what I wish more women, especially busy moms, knew. You do not need another exhausting side hustle. You need a business model that actually fits your life. So when I first started looking for something different, I had a very clear list of what I didn't want. I didn't want inventory. I tried Amazon FBA. I didn't want shipping. I tried Etsy. I didn't want a warehouse. Again, Amazon FBA. I didn't want customer service chaos or constant live calls or awkward cold messaging or paid ads just to get started or a business that stopped making money the second I stopped working. I had already seen what happens when your income depends completely on your time and energy. And with 3 young kids at home, I knew I needed something more passive, more flexible, and more scalable. And that's why digital products made so much sense to me because they're low overhead, high margin, scalable, simple to automate, and they allow you to create something once and sell it again and again. And that's what I wanted. Not just more money, but a way of making money that didn't cost me my peace, my sanity, my presence, or the flexibility that I wanted for my family. So if you want to see the exact simple system that I use to create and sell digital products, download my free Digital Freedom Business Blueprint below. So in the past, Facebook and Instagram worked well for me. And I still think that they can be useful. And a lot of my students still use Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. But today, my favorite platform by far is YouTube. Because YouTube is a search engine, not just a social media feed. Okay, that means your content can keep getting discovered, videos can keep bringing in leads long after you post them, and you're not constantly starting from zero every few days. Okay, that is huge, especially for moms or for anyone who doesn't want to feel chained to content creation all day long. Okay, my YouTube channel has grown from 50 subscribers to almost 1,000 in less than 3 months, and it's become one of the biggest assets in my business. So the business system that I use is simple. I'm going to show it to you right here. So you're going to take your YouTube content. Okay. You're going to post YouTube videos is going to be the traffic for your system. Okay. You're posting on one platform, which I'm suggesting is YouTube. Okay. You can do it in another platform if you prefer, but right now what's working is YouTube. Okay. So traffic is going to your freebie, which is going to your email list, an email sequence, a welcome sequence that nurtures your clients, your potential clients, and then that leads to your sale of your digital product. Okay, that's the backbone. YouTube brings the traffic, the freebie captures the lead, the email builds trust and makes the sales, and the digital product is the paid solution. That is the entire system. Okay, it's not complicated. So here's my step-by-step process. I'm going to tell you the step-by-step process, and I'm going to give you an example of one of my students. So step one is pick a topic based on a real problem that you understand. Okay, so I would start with a problem that you've personally experienced, solved, or deeply understand. Not something random, not something generic, and not something that you only picked because it sounded popular or easy. Okay, this is one of the reasons my student in the Digital Freedom Collective did so well. Okay, Jenny used her own personal experience and health struggle to create a specific guide called the Insulin Reset Protocol. This product helps women reverse insulin resistance. Okay. It's very specific, it's very clear, it's very needed. And because of that, she's made over $3,500 in less than a month as a beginner just starting out from a new Instagram account, posting once a day, brand new Instagram account with no followers, no friends or family or audience, and no ads. Okay. And that's why I want you to pay attention to that. The product was specific. Okay. The product was painful. The problem was painful and the transformation was clear. That's why it sold. Okay. Step two, start posting educational content consistently. Okay. The next step is to start creating content around that topic. So, again, my favorite platform is YouTube because YouTube content compounds over time. But you can use whichever social media platform that you actually spend time on because you're most likely to actually post on the one that you actually hang out on. Okay. So instead of trying to be everywhere, I want you to focus on one platform long enough to get traction and momentum. You don't need to wait until you have an audience. You start by posting about the problem that you want to solve. And that is how your audience grows. And yes, I want to address this. It can feel uncomfortable in the beginning, okay? But every creator and entrepreneur starts at zero, okay? And every barrier, every challenge that you have helps you grow and also helps you make money, okay? Which is the real point. So, step number three is you're going to create a freebie. Okay. Your freebie should be a step 0 point or a quick win resource that helps someone with a problem related to your paid product. Okay. So, in the case of Janet, who created the insulin reset protocol, her freebie, her step 0 is a checklist of the symptoms that you may be experiencing if you have insulin resistance. Okay. So examples could be a checklist, a short guide, a free training, a blueprint, a template. This freebie helps turn casual viewers into email subscribers. Okay. And your email list becomes one of the most valuable assets in your business because that's where trust grows and sales happen. And more importantly, where you're not fighting the algorithm. Okay. You can send an email whenever you want without having to pay for it and without having to pay for advertising or paying to get in front of people. Okay, step number 4 is look at comments and feedback to shape the paid product. Okay, so instead of waiting to do a formal survey or a ton of research, I would pay close attention to the comments, the DMs, the questions that people are asking repeatedly. Okay, where people seem confused, what they want help with most. And that is the data. Okay, honestly, some of the best product ideas are hiding in the questions that people are already asking you for help with. Okay, what are they stuck on? What do they want faster? What would they gladly pay to help them solve? Okay, that's your clue. Okay, step number 5, create a product that solves that next clear problem. Okay, this is where a lot of people overcomplicate things. You do not need to start with a giant course. Okay, the best starting products are usually a PDF guide, a mini course, a workshop, a resource bundle, or even a strong master resale rights digital product if it's aligned and it solves a real problem. Okay, and that's exactly how I got started. My first product was a master resale rights digital product. I linked it in the description below if you're curious. And what made it powerful was not just that I could sell it for 100% profit. It was that it taught a real skill, it solved a real problem, and it gave me a fast way to start making money online without creating from scratch, which was huge for me and my ADHD brain. Okay, that's one of the reasons why I think MRR or master resale rights can be such a strong starting point for beginners. Okay, step number 6, sell through email and content. So once you have the content, the freebie, the email list, and the product, the system becomes simple. Okay, the content brings people in, the email nurtures them, and the product solves the next step, which they're willing to pay for. That is the entire business model. And that's what makes it so much more sustainable than constantly trying to sell to people manually, one-on-one or in DMs or building a team or doing MLM or doing social selling. This is so much more sustainable and so much more scalable. Okay, so let's talk about what does not work. Okay, here's what I do not recommend. I don't recommend creating random templates, okay, and hoping that they sell, or selling information that people can easily Google without adding anything of value or your own experience to it. Okay, or relying only on Etsy or Amazon, or waiting until the product is perfect. Okay, you can always make it better. This is a digital product. You can always improve on it and then just replace the old product with the new product. It's super simple to swap that out. Okay, or posting a freebie with no email strategy, or trying to be everywhere at once. Okay, I teach my students to pick one platform and stay consistent on there and become an expert on there just like for an entire year. Okay, and then I also don't recommend creating a vague product that doesn't solve a painful problem. Okay, and I definitely don't recommend building a business around low quality generic content that has no personal experience or real transformation about it. Because that's the difference now. Okay. People are not just buying information, they're buying your experience, your story, your method, your clarity, your framework, and your perspective. That is what makes your product different and what makes it stand out. That's your secret sauce. Okay. It's not just the topic. So my advice if you're starting today, okay, if I were starting from scratch today, here's the advice that I would give. Choose a problem that you understand deeply. Start posting weekly educational content around it, okay, on YouTube or on whatever social media platform that you love the most or that you actually hang out on. Create one strong freebie that is related to your paid product. That is like step zero. Build your email list. Okay, that is a huge asset in your business. If I could go back, I would have started building my email list so long ago and not just recently. Okay, pay attention to the comments and the questions that come up. Create one simple product, sell that product through email and content that you're posting, and don't overbuild, overcomplicate, or wait until you feel ready. Okay, because if you keep waiting until everything is perfect, you will stay stuck and you will never actually start making money online. And if you're wondering about the best digital products to sell online, the answer is usually the one that solves a painful, specific problem for a specific person in a simple, clear way. Okay. So when it comes to scaling, you do not need to scale by creating a million products. Okay. So once you've created this product and you want to make more money, you don't scale by creating a million more products. Okay. You scale by selling that same product and improving two things: traffic and conversion. Okay. More traffic gets more of the right people into your system. That means more content views, more freebie downloads, more email subscribers. And higher conversion is you improving the rate at which people buy. Okay. So that could mean better messaging and better calls to action, a stronger offer on the sales page, better emails, clearer positioning, and maybe even better thumbnails or titles or content if YouTube is the traffic source. That's it. Okay. More traffic, better conversion. That is how you scale, not by constantly reinventing your business or adding new products or complicating things. Okay. So the last thing I want to say here is digital products changed my life because they gave me time freedom, location freedom, and financial freedom. I was able to travel the world with my three kids and my nanny and my husband last year for the entire year because of digital products. Okay. They also gave me a business model that felt lighter, a business model that didn't require me to be on all the time or just making, and that's like honestly, that made mattered more than just making money. Okay. A business model that could work in part time hours, it matters to me more than just making money. Okay. Because money is great, but freedom is the real goal. And that's why I still believe that digital products are one of the best business models out there, especially for busy moms or anyone who wants more control over how they live and work. So if you want the step-by-step version of this system, don't forget to download my free Digital Freedom Business Blueprint below. And now that you know how digital products changed my life and how to make your first $1,000 online, the next question is how to create a digital product in just 24 hours. And that's what I break down in this next video. So I will see you there.